Thank you, Deanna. I need my eyes. I have to say thank you, Deanna, very much, and Jill, also great presentation. We work together a lot, and that's part of the reason why I think Pituitary World News is successful. Is because we work on collaboration. So and in trying to figure out how we build this community, this tribe, to get the word out. Thanks. I have to tell you a quick story. Deanna gave me 20 minutes, so I'm going to get through this quickly, some of the slides. But I was, so when I was diagnosed in 2010 with acromegaly, obviously, and 2014 is when we started Pituitary World News. It took me really 4 years to get out of the what am I going to do now sort of thinking. And I think it was 2016 when I met a bunch of people with acromegaly, and it was at Inc. in Vancouver at the Acromegaly Canada conference. And it was one of those experiences that I'll never forget, because I had never met anybody with acromegaly. I think we may have met earlier with Deanna in San Diego. But anyway, that was the first time that I had been in a room with more than one person with acromegaly. And it was a tremendous experience. This conference, I have to tell you, I love coming here. It's always been great, and I've enjoyed meeting everybody and the doctors that come. So thank you for inviting me again, and I'm happy to be here next year. So let me talk a little bit about Pituitary World News. Our objective has been to make noise, really, about pituitary disease. Let's see what I hit. I just hit next, right? Yeah. Oh. So we founded it in 2014, and I was very lucky to find and work with Dr. Louis Blevins, who's the head of the Pituitary Center at UCSF. We decided, we had been talking about it for a few years. How do we do that? There were two reasons. One, I think we heard a lot of talk about early diagnosis, and one of the things we asked ourselves is, what has to happen for people to get diagnosed earlier? And because it was sort of on my wheelhouse, I worked in the advertising business and the communications business for many, many years. My answer was really simple. It's awareness. If we can get the word out, we can really make a difference. We started Pituitary World News with that idea. Can we generate enough noise for people to get to have more knowledge of pituitary disease? And this is about what we do. This is about publishing scientifically sound information, opinions. We do a lot of commentary. We thought about what sort of magazine we wanted out there, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Huffington Post. It's a news aggregator. It's a newspaper. So we wanted to do that. Can we get the information in a way that people are going to want to read it and spread it, and share it? It's a web-style magazine, a blog, and what we call a news clearinghouse, which is taking other information and not rewriting it, but providing opinions and comments on some of the great information that's coming out. We have over now 700 proprietary articles, and I think the last count, it was 165 podcasts that we've published, and videos. And I'm going to show you at the end of the presentation a quick video with something that we call Grand Rounds, which is a meeting on video between a physician and a patient discussing the case to impart information and knowledge about how the physician was thinking about the case and what the input from the patient was. Fascinating stuff. We do live broadcasts every Thursday, every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on. So we have a program called Live Talk, and if you want to get on the air, you can hear Dr. Blevins and I or a patient talk about a case or some of the issues. We've covered things like issues with social media, to problems with insurance companies, and issues that are for day-to-day management of our diseases. We work with all the pituitary diseases. We supported by social media and extensive SEO programs, search engine optimization. So then when you're looking for information, pituitary news will show up on the list. Social media is a headache, to be honest. We wish we didn't have to deal with it, frankly. I'd rather not. But I know that a lot of the patient groups work with Facebook. The problem we have is that the algorithms are not showing all the information that we publish. When we started, we were getting 17,000 hits on social media in the different, today that number is 400. The reason that's happening is because of the algorithms are restricting information because they want us to pay. And I think Mark Zuckerberg needs more money like a hole in the head, particularly for non-profit organizations. So I'm refusing to pay so far. We may have to play because we want to get the message out, but we're trying to figure out how to do it differently. And then obviously, I think Jill mentioned, and everybody here, strict adherence to scientific sound methods. So we're fighting constantly misinformation and the garbage that's on the internet sometimes. So that's how we do it. This is why. So when we think about awareness, if I were to ask this in this room, how many people are aware of acromegaly, everybody will say yes. So this is 100% awareness. If I go out in the lobby and I ask the same question, well, that's going to be probably maybe 2%. Somebody out there that may know, particularly if one of you are there, I said, oh, I know about this. If I go out in the street, 0%, maybe 0.0001%, somebody that had heard or a story, maybe about Andre the Giant, maybe about the Irish Giants, maybe something on the media. And so that's we're using basic marketing communications techniques to get this out. PR and messaging. And the other part of it is message reception. And how are people receiving the information that we put out? And one of the things we worry about, or no, I shouldn't say worry about, but one of the things we work on is as much about how we tell the story than just telling it. It's very critical for the right messaging to get out, so that people recognize it and then think about the diseases the correct way. And then figure out how to create content that's going to be discovered by other systems, right, other media. So we say, boy, this is a really interesting story. What is it all about? I remember first learning about the pituitary gland as an adult, and I never really paid much attention until I had to deal with it. And then I recognized that this is a little pea-sized gland that runs your whole body. The science behind it is fascinating. I mean, to learn about it. And so if obviously you have to be affected by it, but so many people don't understand how important it is. And when we deal with the things that happened in the 20th century, for example, endocrine chemicals that affect your endocrine system that are all over the world, in wrappings, in plastic, in the food we eat, and so those are ways to get for people to recognize about the pituitary gland, and all of a sudden there is more awareness about the diseases that come with pituitary gland. So it's a dynamic that says, if I can get awareness out there enough, maybe the next time a patient goes to the doctor with some of these symptoms, they'll ask a question that will focus the physician and say, I heard about this, could I have this? And my physician, it took, my primary care physician team, took them 28 years to figure out what I had. And when I said, okay, how do you solve this? We heard yesterday, 15 minutes, 30 minutes of endocrinology or pituitary disease of acromegaly, let's say, on medical school. I talked to medical students at Berkeley in California every year, and these are 15, 20 kids that are going to be physicians, not necessarily endocrinologists. I will promise you that none of those kids will ever forget what a person with acromegaly looks like or what the disease is. So if you can do that, do it, because you will make the service you will provide. It's going to be great. I'm going to move fast to this. So that's why we really are doing this. I think early diagnosis is one of the key issues that we thought about. Can we affect the number of years that it takes to get somebody diagnosed by creating more noise? Amplifying the work that Deanna does here every day, the work that Jill does, and the work that all of the advocacy groups, not only in acromegaly, but Cushing's and hypopituitary and all of the issues that come with pituitary problems. Anyway, this is our reach and impact. It's pretty standard. We're trying to do more in the rest of the world. Deanna, just tell me when I'm close to 2 minutes. Oh, holy cow. Time flies. Okay, so this is our usage detail. Not surprisingly, most people will look at it on their phone. We get around 7,000 to 10,000 visitors. I think that's a lot. Here's a little bit of what our podcasts do. You can see this is just from August 23, from August 1st to August 23. You get a sense of how they're used. I think we are doing bigger numbers at Endocrine News, I can tell you that. We get more people through our site than any magazine today, and that's been great. The other thing that we did is we segmented the market to see who are the people that have to get a message on pituitary to make a difference. And this is a list. If you would like this presentation, by the way, let me know and I can make it available. Okay, let me go again. And this is our ongoing projects and initiatives. Okay, I can stop if you'd like me to stop. I can show you a little bit of what we call our playground. And this is the people that we influence, the people that we work with. The search engines, the social media, and the professional and trade publications. We've had things picked up by Endocrine News. We had a few things with the New York Times and CNN. We're working with CNN on a couple of stories as we speak. This is an interesting thing, 30 seconds on this. It's a logic model, and this is what we think about when we do the assumptions that we make versus the impacts that we want to receive. And these are sort of business school type models, but they're really important to make sure that what we do has an impact. The tendency sometimes is to do a lot of things and none of it is having any impact, so understanding how that works. And our impact is to make sure that more people have knowledge of pituitary disease, so the work that Deanna does and the work that Jill do become as effective as we can possibly make it.
Yeah, but your work that you do is important too.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.